Hey y'all, I'm Danya. Come on in my kitchen. Today I'm making comfort food with a secret ingredient that you're gonna love. Today's recipe is Bloody Mary chili. I know that may sound a little bit odd, but Bloody Mary mix is the secret to this chili recipe, and it couldn't be easier. So to get started, I'm going to walk through the ingredients that you'll need to make this recipe. First, ground beef. I'm using 2 pounds of ground chuck. I also have an onion, garlic. I'm using tomato paste, and I love to use this tomato paste that's in a tube. It's concentrated and gives a whole lot of flavor. There's some sugar that's going to balance out the crushed tomatoes, Worcestershire sauce that brings a rich, deep flavor to all the ingredients as they cook together. And I'm using 2 types of beans, red beans and white beans. These beans have been, they're canned beans. You don't need to use dried beans and soak them overnight and do all of that. I actually took the beans out of the can, drained them, and then rinsed. I also have chili powder. I've got some cumin and some celery salt, salt and pepper, and the secret ingredient, which is Bloody Mary mix. It brings a unique flavor to this recipe, and y'all, it's so good. So let's get started cooking. So now we're gonna make the chili. First things first, I'm gonna chop an onion because it's the first ingredient that goes into the pot. So one of the things about this recipe is that you can change it up and make it your own. Some people are not big fans of red beans. If you don't like them, you can leave them out. If you want to do all white beans, or you can do all red beans. Either way works. So I'm gonna start by dicing up this onion, and as fine as you can get it. You want to see a few little chunks in there as it cooks down. So once I get this chopped, we're going to put it in the pot. Okay, so the onion is all chopped, and now it's going to go in the pot. I do have just a little bit of butter that I'm going to cook the onion in, and because it just gives it some really nice flavor. So we're going to put the whole onion into the pot, and we're going to saute the onion until it's about translucent, which means clear. You're going to make sure it's cooked down, and then we're going to start adding our other ingredients. So our onion is cooked down, it's golden and slightly translucent, so now it's time to add the ground beef. And if you want to get ground chuck or whatever type of ground beef that you want, a lot of times I just buy what's on sale. And then if it's got a little bit more fat in it, as we cook this down, we'll just drain it off at the end, and you can save some money by getting what's on sale. So we added our ground beef, and it's all cooked down with the onions, and it's caramelized just a little bit on the bottom because that really adds some great flavor. While I was cooking the ground beef, I also added some salt and pepper because as we talk about every time we cook together, seasoning as you go is really important. Now it's time to add all the flavors. First off is tomato paste. And as I told you when I was going through the ingredients, I love using the tomato paste in a tube. It's really concentrated and gives great flavor. Plus, it's super easy just to use, like I said, in the tube, because all you do is screw the top back on and pop it in the fridge. So you're good to go for the next recipe. So we've got the tomato paste in, and you want to, after you add each of these ingredients, you want to stir everything together because these seasonings and the tomato paste are going to cook together in the ground beef and the onions and really give a rich flavor. So we have that. Next, we're going to add, garlic. And here's one of my little kitchen tips. I use a microplane or a zester, and zest my garlic in there because, y'all, I have found, that one's kind of big, okay. I have found that the garlic presses, those things are so hard. They're so hard to clean, and I feel like I never really get all the garlic out of it. So all you do is you just put your garlic on there, put your clove on, it's been peeled, and you just grate that on, and it goes right into your recipe. Okay, next we're adding in the chili powder. And this is chili, so we're gonna use a bunch of this. And you are gonna need 3 tablespoons. Now we're gonna stir all that together so that those flavors start to marry. And it's kind of like the seasoning gets toasted or cooked into the ground beef before you add any of the other liquid. Okay, you see that nice rich color is coming in. Next, we're gonna add, let me get my measurements right. We've got a half a teaspoon of the celery salt. Sprinkle that in. That's an unexpected flavor as well. And also a half a teaspoon of cumin, which is like a traditional seasoning inside of chilies. So we're gonna give that a stir and let this come together and cook for just about a minute. Okay, so all the spices have cooked in and the color has turned a beautiful, rich golden brown with the meat. Now it's time for the secret ingredient. Y'all, this is so good. And it doesn't matter if you don't like Bloody Marys. The Bloody Mary mix gives such incredible flavor that it's kind of unexpected because it brings different layers of flavor. We're gonna add in 3 cups of Bloody Mary mix. And this is the brand that I use, the Zig Zag. You can get whatever you like at the grocery store. It doesn't matter. And because a lot of people, even if you don't like alcoholic beverages, Bloody Mary mix is good on its own. It's got a whole lot of flavor in it. I love the celery and the Worcestershire that traditional Bloody Marys have in them. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook for about a minute and finish this off. All right, it's time to finish things up. The Bloody Mary mix went in. Now we're gonna add in the can of crushed tomatoes. The whole beautiful can there. I'm adding in Worcestershire sauce and some sugar. Do not forget the sugar because we have added a lot of tomato flavor in there. And what happens is sometimes that it can get really tart and a little pungent. So the sugar helps to mellow out the tomato flavor. Okay, give that a good stir. I wish y'all could smell this. It is so good. Next, both kinds of beans. Just put those right in there. And you can see this is filling up this pot. This is a big pot of chili. But don't worry about that because you can make this, serve it. It will stay in the fridge in a container for up to 3 days. But here's another big plus to this recipe. This freezes beautifully. I would put it in like 4 servings at a time of a freezer-safe container. Put that in the fridge, and you have got a make-ahead meal that is absolutely crazy good. Okay, y'all, this is almost ready. I'm going to put the lid on, and we're gonna cook it for 30 minutes. Let it simmer for 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna show you how I serve it. Okay, y'all, the chili has been simmering for about 30 minutes, so now it's time for the big reveal. But before I serve it, I want to let you know, it may seem like this recipe was intimidating, but listen, all of those ingredients I went through, they do have a specific purpose, and it's all to make the best pot of chili in less than an hour. So give it a try. You won't regret it. But now, let's see what's been going on. Okay, the chili's almost ready. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. It's thick and rich, and Everything has just cooked together. Again, sometimes when I serve this, I can't believe all this flavor comes through in just an hour. So now it's time to serve it up. I'm going to put everything in this nice crock here, and then I'm going to show you how I like to top it. It's rich and meaty. Oh my goodness, y'all, it smells so good. I've got some just regular tortilla chips. I think those are great. I don't know about y'all, but I gotta have some grated cheese. So I'm gonna put that on first, give it a little sprinkle. And then, of course, in our house, we've gotta have some sour cream. So I'm gonna put a couple of dollops of that. I'm a big fan of spice, so I've got some chopped jalapenos. Right on this, today I'm using fresh ones, but I think the pickled ones are great as well. Also a little hot sauce because, you know, the hot sauce also is going to be so good with the Bloody Mary flavors that are in there. It just marries beautifully. And let's not forget a little bit of garnish and a little bit of freshness with cilantro. So here is Bloody Mary chili. I hope y'all give this a try. And as always, I want to let you know, you can find this recipe on southernsoul.com. Just put in the search, Bloody Mary or chili, and you'll find the complete recipe. Today I made this on the stovetop or on the burner, just in a pot. I also have on the site the ingredients and the steps. The ingredients are the same, but the steps to make this in a crock pot. So you've got two options there. And I want you to do me a big favor. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment if you've made this. And as always, more recipes are coming your way.